Happy spring. Evelyn is here. Evelyn is here, and you brought some guests. And tell me who you brought.
We have Jim Kalasa and Carrie Hawkins from the Ballground Botanical Garden, from the Garden Club.
And the Botanical Garden is free to everyone who wants to come and enjoy it.
Yes.
That is so awesome. That's what spring is about. And we're going to talk today about a spring event that happens on May the 13th.
It is going to be from 9 to 3 p.m. So come and bring some money and have fun, buy some plants.
Lots of plants.
Lots of plants. And we have a beautiful raffle baskets.
We have some great stuff.
Yes.
Have some great stuff, and we're going to be sharing that now because some of the things that you're going to see now are going to be available. You buy a raffle ticket, and then at the end of the day, y'all will do a drawing, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And so some of the gift items, one we stopped and picked up this morning from, was it Westminster Church?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
that is
the basket's amazing.
Baskets
We're going to show those in just a couple of minutes. But everybody who participates in this gives 110%.
200%.
Yeah, 200%. And the Garden Club, when I first came to Ball Grounds 7.5 years ago, it had about 30-something members, and now there are over 70 members.
74 and counting at the moment.
And counting, yes, yes. And in order to become a member, you have to work hard, don't you?
Yes.
That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
You have to like playing in the dirt again, and you have to like getting dirty and nasty and loving watching things pop out of the ground. And that's one of the cool things about it. But the great thing about it is opening the garden to everybody. The Botanical Garden is free.
It is free.
Yeah, and you just come and walk and wander.
Take pictures, I mean, see all the flowers, the butterfly garden area. We have all different kinds of areas that you can take.
Yeah, there's 16 different gardens within it. Everything from a real tranquil Japanese garden to the butterfly garden as part of the Rosalind Carter Trail. We have an heirloom garden, cottage garden. We've got a Four Seasons garden, so something's always blooming.
Yes.
We've got a native Georgia garden that has some very rare plants in it that Diane Smith put together.
And a very lovely Japanese garden.
Oh, it's very nice on that.
And also the break area where we have all the break.
A lot of photo ops.
And as prom or weddings happen, it is the perfect place to do your engagement photos or do your after wedding photos.
Absolutely.
And Ball Ground might be the wedding capital of the world right now. We have weddings. We have weddings there every weekend.
Too many venues.
Yeah, so many venues. Now at the event, Evelyn, you've posted a list that we're going to show of how many vendors are going to be there.
I'm going to let Jim talk about the vendors because he's in charge of the vendors.
Okay.
And he can tell you all about the list. And we have great vendors this year. So
We've got 31 vendors, all of them local artisans, restaurants, food, and that. We've got everybody from Sunshine Life who provided this unit. Karen will be there. We've got jellies. We've got Latham Pottery is going to be there. Whistle Design, Thatcher Soaps. People coming from with Sensi and Discovery Toys and Pampered Chef. Westminster's Church is going to be there with all their desserts and things. The Go Church will be there for kids' menus. Then we got Dot's Fine Wine and Craft Beer that'll be there with mimosas, beer and wine on tap for those who imbibe. Then Bean and Biscuit from Waleska will be there with their famous breakfast burritos and biscuits and luncheons, and they're making a special.
Their salads. I hope they bring some of their salads. Their salads are so fresh and crisp. They're just wonderful.
Well, she's named after. Her name is Sherry too, so we'll bring her. Sherry,
That's right.
Sherry Jr. will bring that.
right.
But she's
That's
making a homemade breakfast lasagna.
I know.
And then Tea Leaf and Thyme, that used to be in Woodstock, is coming out of retirement to bring their chicken salad sandwiches, pimento cheese, and cheese. So,
I always love tea leaves.
so
Yeah.
plan
Always a
on
favorite.
being there and visiting everybody. So it'll be great.
It will be great. And the Lions Club will be there with Vidalia onion orders.
And
that's
brooms.
going to be cool. And brooms. And I remember that the Lions used to do brooms. That's
Yeah.
right. I'd forgotten all about that. You're too young to know that.
No.
You're too young
I
to
don't know
know
what
that.
brooms are.
Yeah. Well, we want to show some photos now because we downloaded a bunch of photos today. And the photos are of different things that we've done over the weekend. One of it is a video of a tea that you guys missed on Friday, but it was an amazing tea that the Garden Club had, and this was the council. And last year, you remember the lady who spoke last year?
Yes.
She suddenly passed away, and it was so weird. She was having lunch at Chick-fil-A with her grandson, and suddenly passed away. So in honor of her, the kind of tea was very special. It was very special this week, and the new president had to stand up and take her place, and she was brand new into it. And I know that's hard because she had some big shoes to fill.
Yes.
And you think about, you have your life going, everything is wonderful, you're sitting at Chick-fil-A having lunch with your grandchild, and you fall over dead. Now that's tough.
Traumatizing for
That's traumatizing. Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
traumatizing. Yes.
So in honor of her, we want to show a video, and this is the ladies of the Ball Ground Garden Club as they did the hat parade. Also some photos of the food, and I have to say, I have been eating very good. I've been eating a lot of vegetables. I've been drinking a lot of water. I've been doing great. Friday, I blew the heck out of it because these ladies, my only complaint about this event is there was really nothing healthy there. And I had to choose the sinful stuff, and I chose well. I chose well. It was fantastic. They went above and beyond. Everybody brought their best, and it showed up in it was amazing. So we're going to show some photos now. Can we do that, guys?
Oh, this is just for the garden club.
Okay, this
the
is
layout.
where you park near City Hall when you come to the Botanical Garden, or if you come to the event, it will be right there at the Botanical Garden. And again, it's May the 13th, beginning at what time?
Yeah, so the parking for there is gonna just be for the volunteers, and then we're gonna be parking at the elementary school.
Okay.
Like people, we're gonna have some
Shuttles?
golf carts and some shuttles to transport people. That's the flyer for the botanical garden plant sale on May the 13th from 9 to 3. That we have shared that flyer to social media, and yeah.
And that, ladies, is these people showing out. And I am telling you, that little cookie on top was a shortbread recipe that I used forever and ever and ever because Granny Olga gave me the recipe years and years and years ago. This person added sea salt to the top of it, and it was beyond fantastic. And those little mini pizza things, I don't know who made those, but I want to be their child or their grandma or their aunt. I want to be in that family. And that meringue thing with the strawberry was out of this world. Now that's me and sweet Jenny Byers. She is the princess of the Garden Club. She is Princess Belle of Ball Ground, and that was us yesterday. We went to Dalton to honor and to represent our town in a wonderful celebration of life for Miss Carol Snell, who went to be with the Lord after teaching the Bible and teaching about Jesus for 60 some odd years. Amazing, amazing lady, and what an honor to pay tribute to her. So, and this is my favorite photo. That is Ball Ground First Baptist Church. I took that photo last night at about 7:45, and I absolutely, that is what Ball Ground is about. We are a place of peace. We are a place of worship. We are a place of gathering together. And that's what we do best. That's what we do best. And God isn't asking you to figure it out. He's asking you to trust that He already has.
Amen.
I'll tell you, He has. He's got it figured out. I just wish He'd tell me what to do next. Now, we've got some things that are going to happen at the event as far as the sponsors. Do you have a list of sponsors that have helped with this? I know the city of Ball Ground does a lot to make it happen.
We have a lot of the local vendors who have provided things. Most of them, almost every one of the different
Businesses.
Retailers have on that. We also have some great speakers coming up on that. So the speakers are going to be there from 10, 11, noon, and 1 o'clock. So Ron Fisker will be there talking about turf and grass and how to take care of your lawn. Ashley Frasca, who took over for Walter Reeves and Green and Growing, will be there. She also does the traffic on 995 and 750. Charlie Andrews is the president of the American Native Azalea, and he's going to be talking. He actually mapped out where all the native azaleas are in Georgia. And
is that orange plant that was sitting at the tea the
That's
other
a
day?
native
Yes, that's a
azalea.
native
That thing
azalea.
is beautiful.
Aren't they?
That is the most beautiful thing I've
Yes.
ever seen.
And
Now,
there's-
where did it come
yeah.
from?
Oh, it was through,
Excuse me.
I don't remember who gave it to it.
Is that a Buck Jones?
I'm not even sure who did it there. We had a lot of that, but that's the neat thing with the native azaleas. You'll find an area and it's just totally
Beautiful.
totally colored. So he's mapped that out for it, and then we'll have Allie Hatter, who's the lady of the forest, but she's actually a descendant of Pocahontas, and she's going to be talking about medicinal and native remedies, edible foods, and just natural remedies for you on that. So those would be the presentations. So spend the whole day.
Yeah.
Grab a mimosa, a biscuit, and go and sit down and buy. Then, as shows say, go buy a plant. So
Yes, lots of plants.
Yeah.
Lots of plants, lots of plants. Well, and these plants have been cared for, many of them, over the winter by garden club
By
members.
master gardeners,
Yeah.
volunteers, lots and lots of digs we've been on, and we have one more to go. And we have had great success with our digs. People have been so generous and so kind.
there's some gorgeous private gardens in the area.
Yes, yes.
And there's people that take care of acres of azaleas and irises and daylilies, and they let us come in and literally dig it up, and we plant them, and that's what we've been harvesting. So we've got all kinds of iris, different ones. Some are fairly rare. Louisiana, we've got daylilies, we've got columbines, Linton roses, Rosa Sharon, and so just tons of
I think
natural
there's
ones on here.
Peonies. We're going to have
Oh,
a
that's
wonderful
right.
selection of peonies this
We
year.
are, because we're digging them out of my yard. Yeah.
How was that?
Oh,
yours?
great.
Yes, yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
we'll especially label it, so we'll charge more for
So
that.
we need to
Absolutely.
talk. We need to talk about how the digs work, because we want to
Yeah.
get more people to get involved, maybe for next year. So when we asking for people to donate plants, like if you have this big garden that you don't have time to take care of, we can come and help you. We can get what we need for the plant sale, and we will put some. What is the process like? We'll put some mulch on it, right? Like,
Right.
is it
We,
like-
any hole that we dig, we will fill it back in. We don't take all the plant. We usually, leave the mother
Separate it,
plant,
yeah.
divide it up, leave the mother plant, and put dirt back around so there's no divots left.
Right.
And then we mulch it again to make it look nice, to leave it at least as nice, if not nicer than we found it.
Right.
So yeah,
right.
so if you have this big garden that you have no time to take care of it and you would like to donate, maybe not this year, for next year, we usually share a flyer about it. So we're not gonna come and make a mess. We're actually gonna come and help you and divide it and make it look pretty, and your garden will look amazing. And then we can take some plants for the plant sale. So just keep it in mind.
It's so funny because as realtors, she and I show up at houses, and she didn't get to see this house that I showed, but it was 2 doors down
We
from the
always
house
looking
we
for plants.
sold
Oh,
last
look at
year
those
in
plants.
Ackworth. And I called the realtor and I said, look, we're going to make an offer on the house, but we really would like to rather come and bring the garden club and dig the yards, because it belonged to elderly people. Everything they had was the cool old stuff. They had some of the coolest plants, but somebody made a full price offer and they didn't want the yard touched. And I said, darn it, darn it. Because that's one cool thing. When people pass away, often their kids don't care about those plants, and they don't think about. These are heritage plants that have been there generation after generation after generation. And then they just sell the property, and we're like, oh, and
Yeah, we're looking
we're
up for
bad.
plants all
We
the
carry
time.
shovels with us when we travel sometimes. We're like, okay, can we dig this up?
Yeah.
Can we dig this up? Erin, can you come out and let's show the items that are going to be given away? I won a fountain one year. I'm
Last
not
year.
going to tell how much I had to spend to win it.
Like it's $75.
Yeah, yeah.
She put all her tickets
Yeah,
in
I put
there.
all my tickets in there. But I did win. So if you see something that you particularly like, and you need to know that all the money that's raised for the garden club stays right in Ball Ground. We don't send it to foreign countries. We keep it right in town for everybody to benefit from this botanical
There's
garden.
many local things that we try to help with, Boy Scouts and different things like that. We're also partnering with the STEM Academy, the Ball Ground STEM Academy. So it's not just to go to the garden, but we do
Right.
things for the local
Right.
people that we can.
And
Yeah.
The senior center,
The
4-H.
senior center,
Right.
We do the
4-H,
blue marker, and we
yes.
do the wreaths up at the cemetery. So it's a very giving group. I mean,
Absolutely.
I had the opportunity to go to a hospital. I got more cards and letters from the club members than my family. So
Yeah.
Probably
Well, we
shouldn't
want
say
to
that.
share these items. Now, this is the gift basket on the bottom that came
From-
from Westminster this morning.
Yes, so that's the basket from them.
And I
then-
love that $250 item. Tell me about that.
Well, that's, you probably know more about that, Jim, for the dinner thing, the $250 dinner.
Yeah, over at Milton Farms, over on 372, they have a great music venue, wedding venues over there, and they've started. They're having a blues and rhythm, so they're selling the tables, and that's a $250 table
That's great.
ticket on that. So
Wow.
I'll
Wow.
be investing in that myself.
Yes.
Everybody wants that.
And how many people does that include? Do you remember?
I think it's 6 or 8.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think it was,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's
what
cool.
yeah,
That's
when I was
awesome.
reading
Now
it.
the table behind here
Is
was
also-
made by Karen's husband. It's a handmade potting table made out of
Cedar.
cedar.
That's
and
beautiful.
he has his own. He cuts all of his own pieces of wood. So, again, that's something that I'll be investing in too for tickets.
Yeah.
We'll have that.
Well, I do want to reiterate that you don't have to spend $75. There have been plenty of people that put in one ticket and was lucky
You
enough.
just take all the tickets out, put it somewhere else, and then you put your ticket there.
But Sherry's very civic-minded anyway, so she knows it's going for a good
I
cause.
do. Yeah. So I do try to help out. Well,
So-
Charlie at Sunshine Life did the bike up there.
That's
at the
so
Nancy.
cute.
That is
So
cute.
it's
yeah.
Lots of cool little things in there. So it's
Yeah.
we've got tons of great raffle items, gifts, and it is fun. And it's you start at 9 and we do the drawing at 2. If you're not there, we will call you. But,
Right.
Well, we'll
Right.
take it
It's
with
a
us.
full-
Yeah.
full day event.
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is. Yeah.
It is, and it is a community of, you're definitely not from Ball Ground. You're not from Ball Ground.
Is it obvious?
Yeah, you're from Ellijay.
I'm originally from Fannin
Yeah.
County. Yes.
So think about it. And we've all ended up in Ball Ground, and we all care about that amazing
Love it.
community.
Love
yeah,
the community.
Yeah. And I said that's one of the things as realtors who are also involved in development. We know that there are people coming here from everywhere. Do you know why? Because it's the best place to live.
That's
It's the best place. Poor Scotty.
I just don't like when people call you the outsider. though.
I know. Oh yeah, and that happens.
just hate
Yeah, but let me tell you about the outsiders, and this is so funny to me. There's a certain development in Ball Ground where people say, "Well, you're not from here," and I'm going, "Where are you from?" "Well, Kansas, but I've been here 6 years." And I'm like, "Lady, I was here when I was 17 years old driving a '66 Chevelle with my grandma. So get over it." And that's so stupid. When you come into a community, become a part of the best of the community.
You're a community, not like
You're a
you're from here
community.
and not from here. You
Yeah.
live in there now, so you're a resident.
Well, I told Evelyn a story, and this is hysterical. Before we came live, I was watching the Carolina Crossmen, who are from different areas, but they were up in Ohio doing a gospel singing one night. And their piano player looks Hispanic. Well, he's not. And so he went into a convenience store and he was paying, and the lady said, "Well, you're not from around here, are you?" He said, "No, ma'am." And she said, "Well, where are you from?" And he said, "Well," and she said, before he could speak, she said, "Well, welcome to our country." He said, "Lady, I'm a Native American. I was here before you ever even thought about being here." So,
That's hysterical.
So be cautious when you say welcome to our community, because we don't know who have those roots that are dug really deep. And it's like you have the lady coming in to talk about medicinal purposes. Last week, I spent 5 hours filming poke salad. Poke salad picking, poke salad cleaning, poke salad cooking,
I
poke
never
salad
heard of that.
everything. And then I made the mistake of thinking that I could follow Miss Lois Chastain, who's from here in Boardtown Road. She told me how to cook the stalks from poke salad. Well, I can see you don't know what poke salad is.
Me neither.
Okay.
Like, I was like,
Poke
oh my
salad.
goodness.
Poke salad is your spring cleaning. Now that's all I'm going to say. It cleans your intestines. So twice a year, Granny used to say, you do your spring cleaning with poke salad. It cleans your intestines.
That means you go to the bathroom.
It does a really good job of cleaning your intestines. And so the old folks recommended that you do 2 doses of poke salad a year. And it really cleans out. You don't need a colonoscopy, trust me, after poke salad. So this
you
weekend,
do know how to cook
you have
it.
to know how to cook
You
it.
have
But
to know
I
how to cook
took
it.
some home to follow Miss Lois Chastain's recipe. And I took all the stalks. Forget that crap. It was more trouble than it was worth. Now, cooking it with eggs is amazing, and it's really, really good for you. But the stalks and frying them, never mind that. I did not like that gig at all. So the stalks, nah, not my thing. But that is a natural plant that grows here in Georgia, and we went right out to Harrison Park and picked over 25 pounds of it. And when we cooked up 25 pounds of it, it became 13 quart bags to go in the freezer. So think about 25 pounds became 13 quart bags. It cooks down and it cooks down and it cooks down.
Wow.
But then you scramble it with eggs when you cook it, and it's very high in nutrients. So, and it's, you didn't know
Never heard
about that,
about
did
it.
you?
No, and I'm trying to not comment.
You're trying to be positive about it. Do you
We will
like,
fill you in later on.
do you
how
like
to
collard
do it.
greens?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, well, then do you like spinach?
Yep.
Okay, if you would eat spinach
It
and
doesn't
scrambled
taste
eggs,
like any of those.
it does. No,
It
it
does?
really. You could pretend if I cooked
Really?
it for you and fed it to you and said, Evelyn, this is a spinach casserole, you would
It
fall
will taste
for it.
like-
Yeah,
I want to sit here.
you would fall for it.
Make sure she stays home, apparently.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is a spring cleaning, but it's something that's what old people knew what to go to for medicinal purposes.
I grew up on poke salad.
Yes.
I know about poke salad. And I learned how to cook it from my grandmother. I know when to not pick it, and when to pick it. You have to know, and you have to wash.
Yeah, we washed 4 times.
Oh,
We
gosh.
washed 4
that
times.
That sounds like
yeah.
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. Yeah. Well, you learned that when I was teaching you to can tomatoes. It's a process, and we had all these tomatoes, then we ended up with 8 quarts. So you have all these tomatoes, and it looks like you're going to have enough to last a lifetime. 8 quarts.
yeah.
You know, it's just. But it's so cool to capture that bounty when it comes in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you capture it, and your grandma probably went out and picked dandelions and made dandelion tea. I mean, the grandmothers used to do
I
that.
heard the other day that you can make dandelions like a.
You can eat every
fry
part
them,
of a
right?
dandelion.
Like people put like flour.
Yes.
And I look a bit, watch
Yeah.
a video, and I was like, what?
Yes,
You
yes,
can eat every
yes.
part of the dandelion.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
It's amazing, and that's why I love that you're going to have this speaker that's going to talk about the medicinal things.
Yes. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's amazing.
That's gonna be
people
cool.
don't
Blackberry
know
root
about
tea.
it.
Do you know about
Oh
blackberry
yes,
root tea?
oh yes, yes.
Stomach
yes,
ailments.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
What,
Granny Harris used to say, "Well, if your belly's bothering you, let me get you some of this." Okay, Granny, and yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It's good to be learning about all
It's so cool to have, number one, grandmothers, great grandmothers, because those ladies are going away. We have to document and remember what they taught us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have to document and remember that, because the Indians had it going on and they knew what they were doing.
Well, my great-great-grandmother was a full-blooded Cherokee.
Right, there you go.
And she was
Yeah.
on the roll at, she's on the roll at Cherokee. She's passed since, but she got royalties from the casino.
I love it.
Just a little bit more blood. I was just a little short.
Yeah. Well, tell Granny I donated $40. I've been one time spent $40 and I'm still mad about it. Never went back. Okay, guys, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can get involved in Ball Ground and how you can become a part of the Garden Club.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time, and delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
The mountains are calling, and they're closer than you think. Farmers Crossing in Ball Ground offers creekside lots with homes beginning in the 400s. Walking distance to downtown shopping, dining, tennis courts, Calvin Farmer Park, and local events. It also includes a beautiful hike to Long Swamp Creek. Leave the car and the worries behind. Move in by fall 2023. Call Sherry Martin at 404-375-0590 or Evelyn Calhoun at 770-733-0779.
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Mercy. We have a man here that we've got to educate. Jim, you've never been to Fort Mountain.
No, I haven't. No.
Well, we need to tell you about
You
it.
never invited me.
We can
before.
go after.
We can go. We'll go to Mike's and eat, and then we'll go to Fort
There you
Mountain,
go.
and we will all love it
It's probably going to be
is.
chilly there, though.
It will be chilly
Yeah,
today.
It's pretty.
You know, when you landed here, and everybody, we are a group. I mean, I grew up in the city in Atlanta. You grew up in Peru. You grew up where?
Michigan.
You grew up where?
North Georgia.
North Georgia, Fannin County. Okay, when I got here many, many years ago, my mother-in-law said, she'll never stay. She was wrong. She was wrong. I fell in love with the area immediately. There was nothing about Atlanta I missed, except I did love, my yard was full of camellias and azaleas. Been a plant lover all my life. So we all gravitate to what we love. In your country, do they have beautiful plants and flowers?
We do, but I mean, I was never like involved with any gardening or anything like that. We don't have big yards. I mean, everything is just so like, I live in the city, so we have like a small little garden bed, maybe like small size. We never have any big garden or anything.
And what about plants like medicinal plants?
Oh yeah,
Did
we
you
knew
learn
that.
about
Oh,
things
yeah.
like that?
Yeah. I knew about that. Oh my God, what is it called? They call it something different here, but in my country they call it Canton. And it's every single wheat that you see in your yard. It's the one that grows the little white flowers, and you can cook tea with that, and it's good for like your stomach issues and stuff like that.
Ginger.
Was that?
Ginger.
No.
No.
It's
Isn't
called,
that ginger?
No, I forgot what is it called. But I had to look it up, but it has like the white flowers, and it spreads like it's weird because it spreads like really close to the ground, and then it has like little things growing, and it blooms like white flowers. But you have to cut it before it gets the flower because then it's not good. That's what I know from my country. But
And so your
Other than
grandmothers
that, yeah.
taught you to make tea with that.
yeah,
So
I
it's
I
crazy.
made tea, but I was kind of like afraid because I was like, is that the same thing?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah.
Well, landing here, you know, we're all of different religions. Probably, I've met so many Catholics, Presbyterians, you name it, Church of God, holiness, you name it. We're all gathering together, and one day in America that we truly all gather together is May the 4th for National Day of Prayer. And now Ball Ground is going to have a National Day of Prayer event right across from our office. Tell me
Right
about
across
it.
There.
Yeah.
Over, the Ball Ground Men's Group gets together and they try to do community events, helping people out here. So on May the 4th, which is the Thursday, from 8 to 9 at 275 Gilmer Ferry Road, right by the coffee house, there's an open space. And we're going to have somebody start it off, but we'll have 7 different preachers doing short prayers on different things from the military, government, business schools on that. From Jasper, we've got Chad Elliott from Revolution Church, David
Right.
Stein from Canton. We've got the First Baptist Church, Methodist Church, Westminster Church, the Go Church there. So it's going to be very, very community oriented, which we're very excited about. So it's just going to be 1 hour, and we will be closing it with Amazing Grace, and Daryl McNeil will be there singing it, who does a great Elvis. So it'll be a good event.
That
And-
is cool. That is cool.
And
That'll
we
be
will
neat.
promise that the Barrel House Coffee will not run out of coffee.
There you go.
So
there
let's
you go.
let's fill up the town. Let's
Let's
just
do
show let's
it.
show the world what
Yeah.
we think of God
Yeah.
and Jesus in
Right.
in Ball Ground
Amen.
the area.
Right. Well, and that's the one thing about all of us. We all agree that without Him, we are nothing.
Yep.
Without Him, we are nothing. And we can start, stop, fail, and He always lifts us back up.
Yep.
And that's what's that's what it's about. And I said I got so tickled. I was at my uncle's Catholic funeral 2 weeks ago. And I thought, we were born in North Georgia, Dawson County. We went to the country primitive Baptist churches, and then my aunt married a Catholic guy. She taught Catholicism all her life. And I thought, how different was that for her? But she said, I'm always serving the Lord. Always. And that's what it's about. We come together no matter where we came from.
I like the Southern tradition of the Wednesday night Bible study and dinner.
Yes.
I know you do.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness!
Yes.
That's why I learned to eat greens on
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what that is, but you got to make more of that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And that's one of the things, I remember the first time I went to a homecoming at Mount Vernon Baptist Church, which is 1800s church where all my family's buried. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. I was 8 years old, and we had a dinner on the ground. And I was like, I have never seen so much food in my life. And it's like, those ladies get up early to show out. And boy, do they show out. So if you're not Southern Baptist and you're not Primitive Country Baptist, you need to go visit one of those churches because you talk about some good folks.
Yeah.
And they all say, welcome in, and that's what it's about.
Yep.
It's about welcoming each other, whether you're new to the community or you're old to the community. I like getting to know the old folks. Some of the best recipes in the world, and you know this,
Yes.
come from those great grandmas. They
Yes,
come
they
from
do.
those great grandmas.
I try to duplicate
It's hard.
my grandmother's dried apple fruit cake. It's not fruit cake, it's dried apples.
Yes.
It's like
Is it the little thin crust?
Yes.
Yes. 12 layers?
Yes,
Yes.
I can
That
come
sounds
close,
good.
but it's not quite.
Yes, yes.
And it takes 3 full days to set before it's
It
perfect.
does,
And,
exactly.
Oh, it's so
My
good.
mother-in-law made my husband that every year for Christmas. That
Yes.
was his gift from his mother every single Christmas.
We had it
Yeah.
every Christmas and usually on New Year's as well.
Yeah, yeah,
And
amazing.
sometimes instead of the apple filling, sometimes we did blackberry jam.
Oh gosh, I would love that.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fabulous.
And we have to say, we have a common denominator. We love and know Roger and Ann Futch. I wouldn't be here today if Roger Futch hadn't picked up the phone and called me many years ago. And I will always be thankful for that phone call because it's given me, I've met so many amazing people. And sometimes they tickle me to death. One lady, she's up in North Carolina, and she messaged me last night and she said, I love that you color your hair now. And I said, thanks for telling the world. Everybody knows I color my hair. But she said, you're so pale and so white. You need to color your hair. I said, okay. And then she said, if you'll come up here, I'll help you out. I said, this is so funny. How did we get off on my hair? But I love that people feel like they know me, even though I haven't met most of them. And they have the advantage because when we walk into a restaurant and somebody speaks to me, I have no idea who they are.
Yeah, it's just like,
And she'll say, who was that? And I said, I don't know, but they watched the show and I wish I did know. So if you see me out, please tell me your names because a lot of them I've met through churches and different things, but then they have an advantage. They watch me daily. I can't see y'all.
Yeah,
so I don't know
exactly.
y'all are out there. But it's so cool that they feel familiar enough with me that they can say, we like that you colored your hair. It was funny. And I sent the message to one of my friends last night, and she said, did that hurt your feelings when she said that? I said, no, I loved it. I said, I'm fine with it. I'm fine that you reach out, reach out and touch somebody and make a difference. And I think that's something the Garden Club does. Now, I know y'all are open enrollment right now, kind of like the government.
Yes.
You still want to open up and invite new people. So if they're new to Ball Ground and they want to become a member, what do they have to do?
have an active interest in gardening. That's your one main requirement. You don't have to even know anything about gardening. You got to love flowers and be willing to learn. Maybe we request that you be on at least one committee, but you can be on them all if you want to.
Are you going to be on plant sale committee next year?
I don't know.
It's a lot of work. It
It's a
takes
lot
a
of
lot
work.
of dedication, but
Yeah.
such a fabulous job from both of these and
Yeah.
all the workers.
Yeah.
They keep that botanical garden looking so good. You know, it's just fabulous. But we are always welcoming anyone that wants to come. You need to attend 2 meetings. We take a vote. No one's been
Nobody
blackballed
did
yet. And we've been, chartered since 1951. So,
Right.
so it's a good chance you'll get in.
Yeah.
But it's the most fabulous people. Everybody is civic minded. It's such a good organization. It's a large organization
is.
compared to a lot of garden clubs. It's
I
very
remember
large.
when I joined, I was last year, and I thought it was going to be small. And Jeannie has invited me. And then, what was the lady they moved to Florida? Peggy?
Beverly
She
Pope.
invited
She's
me
so
to.
precious.
She is.
She is.
And I never had the time to go, so when I finally went, I was like, oh my God, that's a lot of members.
Yeah. Well, I invited a speaker who spoke last month, and I invited Kevin Caldwell, who is the tree master, and I invited him, and he said, "This is a large group," and I said,
is.
"Yes, it is." Yeah, and didn't he do a great job?
He was so fabulous. We could have had just a meeting with
All
just
day,
him.
yeah, like
Absolutely.
2 hours.
Yes.
Well, we finally had to just sort of kind of like, okay, we got to move on.
Yeah.
Because all of us just wanted to talk to him. Everybody wanted to
yeah.
ask about their trees, and he was so knowledgeable.
Yes. And I think that's a lesson we need to learn, because if you are trying to preserve an amazing tree, don't just call a tree cutter, call the tree doctors. And Kevin is one of the only 6, I think, in the state of Georgia that has the degree he has. And he's been doing this for over 30 years. And it means he truly cares about what he does. And he said, I've never wanted to do anything but this. And he preserves the oldest tree in Georgia. And when he was telling us about that, I said, how cool is that to get to say, I'm the babysitter of this amazing tree?
Well, we loved his format as well. He told it in story form,
Yes.
which was so fabulous because it's relatable.
Right.
It's not
right.
just facts and figures, and so it was very relatable. I loved how he presented it.
Well, when I called him, I said, are you going to do a PowerPoint? He said, no, I hate those. I said, yes, you're coming. I was so excited. Because he
Just
said,
last minute talking.
yeah, he said, I just want to tell a story. He said, I just want to tell a story. I said, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, and we're going to air that tomorrow. We're going to air his interview or his presentation in full. And I hope he will come back, because there are so many properties in Georgia where somebody moves in and says, I don't know if I like that tree or not. And then if you do the research on those trees, from a chestnut to
Yeah,
some
the property,
beautiful,
remember that
beautiful
we sold?
Chestnut,
Yes,
elms,
yes.
and even the dogwoods now are in danger. And so
Really?
we really need, I have hope that Mother Nature will take care of herself. I had someone tell me, in 10 years, 20 years, there won't be any native dogwoods. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
no, we're not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
We're going to preserve these dogwoods.
Yeah. And isn't it true, was Jesus involved with the dogwood at one time?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
he
Jesus
was.
on a dogwood, yeah.
And
yeah.
that's the story is that,
Yes.
that's why dogwoods do not get that big anymore, because it was never going to be that a tree would ever be big enough. The dogwood would never
hang
be.
Jesus on it.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you're lucky enough to have a pink dogwood in Georgia, they're so beautiful. And I'll slam on the brakes and stop and jump out and take pictures of the pink dogwoods, because they are just fantastic. And
Yes.
it's that one time a year that you get to enjoy those. So
And with the dogwoods, you don't try to transplant native dogwoods. You can go to the good nurseries, and they've been cultivated, and that's fine. But the native dogwoods like to find their own location. They just do better that way.
And they truly come up from a bird dropping a seed, don't they?
More or less, yes.
Yeah.
Our bird friends leave us lots of fabulous presents.
Did they have that salad you're talking about?
Salad.
No.
I
No,
from the
because,
seed,
well,
from
some
the
of the
different seed.
most of the pokeberries, most birds will not eat them because they are poison. You do
Yeah.
not eat the berries.
Yeah, and that's something though that the Cherokee taught me, that they used that to dye
Yes.
their pottery. They used
Yes.
it to dye their pottery or to dye their clothing. And so there you go. I mean, we get paint from somewhere, we get color from somewhere. We could choose blackberries or the dark cherries, and you could make your color with that.
Walnut shells. Very much so. Indigo for the blue, you know. And
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, we are going to do a little bit of music now, y'all. So I want you to sit back. I don't know what the guys have chosen, but it's probably somebody you like. It might be Mr. Ellijay. And I will just tell you, he brought Ed Forrester in here the other day. I had to be at the hospital with Ansley, and she did great. She had some surgery. And I have a prayer request right now. At the same time she was having surgery, Eric Hendricks, who is somebody that I really, really love, was having some work done too. He needs your prayers. And Tim Cavender, our dear, dear friend that we love so much from Ball Ground, he needs your prayers. We know that C word. We don't like that C word. We're not going to say that C word, but we're going to ask you to please pray for them. You know that my viewers and half the world prayed Hans Rufert clean and healthy. It has been 16 years. He is still with us today. What a joy to know that cancer can be beaten. So prayers go out to Eric Hendricks and to his family. Prayers go out to Tim Cavender and Precious Pam. We love you. We appreciate you. And not only Ball Ground is praying for you, but the world is going to be praying for you. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
I feel good. I got my best jeans on. I feel fine. I'll call my baby on the phone. We're going down to Jamie's and watch them shoot a game of 9. Jackie Dunn will be there in his ragtop 59. My grill is clean. I've got an 8-track in the dash of my machine, and I know every single line. Yeah, Susie's got her dress on, hanging high above her knees. And when she smiles for the Nikon, you know it's such a sight to see. It's Friday night in the southern city lights. Wheels will turn and the rubber's gonna burn. The glass packs are racking, the power play is screaming loud. We'll cruise the red dot parking lot and see who all is in the crowd. 'Cause I feel good, I got my best jeans on, it's all fine. I'll call my baby on the phone. We're going down to Jamie's and watch him shoot a game of 9. Jackie Dunn will be there, and you better not step out of line.
Place, but okay.
is pretty neat, because they're going to be opening up a county park where the games used
We're
to be
back. We're back. Guess what, y'all? We're back. You know, I don't have an earpiece that works right now. We don't have a monitor that works right now either. We're back. Welcome. That's what I love about live TV. I used to tell my director, I said, "Oh no, I'm good. I'm cool. You know, it's real." That's the cool thing about this. What you see is what you get. Okay, we were going to talk about the time of the meetings are 10 a.m. the second Tuesday of the month. Is that
10
correct?
10 a.m. the second Tuesday of the month at Sharp Mountain Baptist Church Fellowship Hall. Anyone is welcome. If
Come
you're-
hungry,
come
because there's a
hungry.
meal. Yes.
Buffet.
Well, yes.
Yes, it is amazing.
Different hostesses each month volunteer, and everyone gets together, coordinates what they're bringing, and it's a fabulous spread as always.
Always, always. And if they come and they decide they want to join and they're not sure what their expertise would be and what kind of committee they would want to be on, whatever, let them think about it a little bit, because you don't
absolutely.
know what you're going to like. I knew she would love the media part of it, because she can do the flyers and all these kind of things. But throwing you into where they threw you this year,
I was not ready, but I was
yeah,
like, sure.
she's taking the bull by the horns and
No, but it's been good. I mean,
It's been fun.
I thought I was excited. At the same time, I was afraid, because I was like, I never done any
yeah.
bigger than this. You know, like I have done like, you know, baby showers and for family members and stuff
Yeah.
like that, or coordinate like a soccer game or
Yeah.
anything like that, small stuff. But everybody is helping, and everybody's been great. Like I said early, they put not 100%, 200% to their time and their efforts. So everything's gonna be great. So be ready for May the 13th.
May the
If there's
13th.
something that everyone can do, some small something.
Yeah.
If you're not able to dig, and a lot of our members are not, that's okay. We have other things that you can do. If you can pick up a stick in the park, you have helped. You've been a part of. We have financial committees. We have, it's just so many different things that organizations have to have, and everybody can do something.
You know, the first man to join was because the women were like, my back is killing me. And one of the few garden clubs in the state that has as many male members.
Yes.
And that is the coolest thing ever. So to you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, the
And
guys
we
are loving
proud
it.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're known as the garden mules, because what they're going to say is that hibiscus needs to go over there, so that's what we do. So.
What
Yeah.
is it? Diane Smith says that her husband is drug. He's drugged from this place to that place to the other place.
Well, we want to invite everybody to Downtown Ball Ground on April the 29th, which is my grandmother's birthday. And this is not to honor my grandmother, but certainly the heritage of Ball Ground. The Indians are going to have a ball game at Calvin Farmer Park from noon to 3.
That's right.
Is there admission, Jim?
No,
They just come and view
show up.
this. It's
Just
going to be
show
a
up.
part of history.
Yeah, and it's the East Cherokee Indians will be
Eastern
will be-
Band.
will be representing what they did that got Ball Ground its name. So we're really
That's
excited
pretty
about
neat,
that.
Yeah, that's
it's-
gonna be really
yeah,
cool.
so they're also they're going to start the new park over by the Etowah 372 Bridge, where the games used to go on. They're going to make it a county park over there.
That's amazing.
So it's going to be a phenomenal event on it. So.
That is amazing. And when we look at the history of Ball Ground, there are still several homes there that are truly historical homes. And sadly, like Calvin Farmer's home burned, it's gone. And there are so many things that people remember where they might have a photo. And I said one night for the Historical Society, I would love for everybody to come
bring
with
a
the
picture or
oldest
something.
picture they have of maybe their parents' home or their family home. And tomorrow night, the Historical Society is going to be talking about the DAR. And I was lucky enough, they gave me a presentation, and one of my cousins said, you could be a member of the DAR because we have the lineage. And I said, we do. So come tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and it is at the City Hall in Ball Ground. Come and learn a little bit about the DAR. And ladies, you might want to check out your lineage, and you might want to be a part of that, because we can't change history. We can change the future, but we can't change history.
And it's great to know about it, because
Yeah.
like, when people tell you, this happened in Ball Ground or this and that, and you like lost, but and then you get interested, like, oh wow, So I like that how they did the murals too with all that.
Oh, the murals are
Those are
fantastic.
just
fantastic.
Every time I drive by,
So
I'm like,
fast.
oh, this is so cute.
It's beautiful. And you and I just viewed a historical house down at the end of Old Canton Street, remember? And we both were ready to
Oh,
write
yes.
a check for that house.
Yes. Yeah.
It is so cool.
But
and
it has
is-
so many
It
issues.
has some issues,
Yeah.
but we fell in love with this, and it is a part of Ball Ground's history.
Yeah.
And I think it's so
Beautiful.
wonderful that people, a lot of young yuppies, that's a word, yuppies are coming in and buying up some of these historical homes and renovating them and saving these beautiful homes in Ball Ground. That is so cool. The one up on the corner, I think they saved it too much and probably spent too much because
Oh, yeah.
way over budget. But how cool is it? It sat there forever in disrepair, and now it's beautiful. And that's part of what's so cool. There's somebody somewhere who says, I'd like to have a historical house. And every once in a while, when I sold Sue and Glenn Densmore's house, took us over a year to sell it because people kept saying, it needs so much work. Well, if I was built in 1905, I'd need work too, you know? So, and I would show people, and I said, but look. And you know,
Good bones.
Scotty went and looked at that house
Oh, the
for
HVAC.
several different people about doing things with it because it was very salvageable. Today, it's one of the prettiest houses in Ball Ground. I don't know what their budget was, but I'd say they probably spent $100,000, wouldn't you think?
Yes,
From
they
seeing
did.
the house. But now it's one of the most beautiful two-story homes in Ball Ground, and it's a 1905 home.
I love it.
So how
Yeah,
cool is
I
that?
love it.
You
And I
can't.
remember I ripped a little bit of the carpet and it has hardwood floors, and I was like, oh my God, hardwood floors.
Yeah. It was amazing. And he took off the back sunroom that had been added on and just built a deck that just overlooks the
Oh,
yard.
really? I didn't see that. Like,
And when Glenn
that's
and
good.
Sue lived there, it had a swimming pool. And the swimming pool had been filled in. So, you know, it just, and I kept saying, somebody
The
needs to buy
garage
this.
was like another house.
5-car garage. 5-car garage. You're
There's
like,
another
holy
house in
cow.
there.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about use your imagination, use your creativity. We walk in houses sometimes, and I think the worst house you and I ever saw, maybe, I don't know if it was the worst or not. We've gone in some that we were like, I don't know if this can be done. But most of the time, we see a vision of taking it down to where it needs to be and recreating it. The White House ended up being one of our favorites, and it was tough.
It was sad.
It was tough.
It was
Yeah,
sad
it was
when I
tough.
sold it.
And it was a little tiny house that somebody had let termites get out of control, and Scotty had to literally rebuild that house.
He didn't want to do it.
Yeah, but when it sold, it passed inspections. Everybody loved it. It was amazing.
We
She
had
changed
5
the
offers.
redesign of it,
Yeah.
and turned an empty space to a laundry room, to a master bath. Just did amazing things.
Wow.
Was something that somebody else might have torn down. So it was amazing. It's amazing, and I love when people save a piece of history.
Absolutely.
You know, and Ball Ground is still, there's one house on Old Canton Road, and it belongs to somebody I love, and it's sitting there. It was his mom's home, and it's still sitting there, and the young man who bought it, I hope he's going to do something really cool with it because it's a really cool old house. And that's what I hope that, everybody who comes in will look at it and say, no, I don't want to tear that down and build a new house. I want to save that house. So
Well, I was so
love
excited
that.
yesterday when we were working on the house that we just bought, and we found that window. I was like,
Yeah.
a window,
Yeah.
a secret window.
And that's part of the legacy is capture those moments. And you know, 16 years ago, Scotty was doing heat and air. Now Scotty's doing everything. There's nothing that man can't touch and change. From tile to, and we laugh about it because I'm like, oh, I didn't know you laid tile. He said, yeah, the tile guy didn't show up, so I'm laying tile. And he learned how to lay tile. So that's what it's about. It's about taking something and seeing that finished product. And I think Ball Ground today is becoming a finished product. You know, it's a combination of what you love, what I love, what you love. And you put everything together, and you come up with this amazing little city.
Yep.
And it's pretty amazing.
Well, one thing we're doing with Dominic's Mission and the Garden Club is we want everybody to bring a can of vegetables or fruit. Dominic's Mission will be there, so we'd love to just fill up their tent, you know,
Yes,
to the
bring
top.
a
That would be
can,
awesome.
yeah.
Everybody that
Yeah.
comes bring a
food
can
drive,
of vegetables
yeah.
or a food drive. That's right.
That's awesome. And to know that, isn't it about 25 families a week are served
Over
out of that?
100.
Over 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the local companies, like you said, Chart Industries just did a food drive, and we filled up 2 pickup trucks full of food and drop it out there because they're running out of food. There's so many people in need around there.
Right.
So
Yeah, we
whatever
also
can
collect
do.
on every meeting too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you go to the grocery store, you understand why people have a choice. Do I pay my power bill or do I feed my family?
That's true.
And
That's
sadly,
absolutely
the
true.
groceries have become ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah, ridiculous. And there's nothing we can do about it except pray that there will be changes.
Or
There will
grow
be
your own
changes.
fruit. Or
Grow your own food. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of, are you going to do the little plot in Nelson? Are you going to do a little
No,
garden?
I started it at home. So
Okay.
I clean a little area at the house because I've been busy with a lot of things, and I
You
love
can
going
produce
over there.
cucumbers. You
Yes.
can do squash right there.
Yeah.
You can do tomatoes
Yeah,
right there.
I
You can
already-
grow enough
I
stuff
already
to have yourself a
I already
salad.
have tomatoes. I already have cucumbers, squash, melons, and strawberries. I didn't do too good with the strawberries last
Strawberries,
year.
yeah.
Because
They're
Strawberries are
early.
kinda
You have to
the
do them
bunnies
early.
were eating them. Well, I did have some, but every time I was like, oh, it's growing.
See,
The next day
I
was
I
gone.
love friends with gardens. I
Yeah.
like friends that have boats.
Yeah.
'Cause then I don't have to garden or own a boat, but I get to partake in it. So
there
I'm
you
glad
go.
to know you. And
My
if you have
husband- I'm
access, we
sorry.
can come over. and
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
My husband is a big farmer.
Oh, really?
And I'm a gardener.
Uh-huh.
And never the twain shall meet.
No,
So the because if he can't do it on a tractor, he doesn't want to mess
Yes,
with it, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
And I just tell him what to do for me in the yard as far as like move this here, move that there. But he grows a huge garden, and we put up
Nice.
a large part of produce, which is hard sometimes because it comes in all at one time.
Yeah, it's like corn. Can you wait? I'm working on
Yeah,
beans.
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
well,
awesome.
gardening is just a joy, and it brings comfort. And I can remember as a kid going to Macon, Georgia, to a beautiful estate home, and it had camellias. And since that day, as a 7-year-old little girl, camellias are still my favorite. There's something
Gardening
that
is a
says I speak
therapy.
Southern.
It's a
Yeah,
therapy.
yeah. Yeah, well, thank y'all for being here today. And remember, the Botanical Garden is free to you, to everybody. If you want to come down there and sit and meditate, read a book, walk around, bring your grandkids, teach your grandkids a little bit about it. There's a beautiful creek there. Your grandkids can get in the creek too. They just have to be careful.
No, don't do that. Don't say
No.
that.
We have to send a thank you to Woody Snell. His mom was buried yesterday, and we were very fortunate to be able to be there to see this woman honored. She had become a missionary later in life. She and her husband traveled and talked about Jesus and taught so many people, and her funeral reflected her life. It was about sharing the Lord, and I loved seeing her grandchildren get up and read some of her favorite Bible verses. It was absolutely precious. Woody came to Ball Ground not knowing anybody but me, and the next thing you know, I rooked him into paying for all of the irrigation system for the garden. The Botanical Garden now gets watered without old ladies having to haul a bunch of old hoses. So to Woody, thank you very much. And it was amazing to see his mom honored because they had been married 64 years, and I'm sure his dad is going to have a hard time, so we need to say a prayer for him. I hope you'll join us again, and as always, this program will go to YouTube after we get off the air, and then you can share it with your friends and your neighbors, and people any and everywhere can learn about Ball Ground's beautiful Botanical Garden. Thank you for being a
Thank
part
you.
of this. Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Bye, y'all.